Hey, welcome, guys. This is Cigar Garage with Doc, and today I'm smoking again. This is the second time I've smoked this. Grand Age Gurkha is the labels that were on it. They came right off. They got a little tab of glue, pops right off. Don't tear your cigar. I love that. I hate when these things, even when you get to them and you have to be very, very careful and you still take a piece of cigar with it. I can't stand that. So this is wonderful. This cigar is a Cameroon wrapper. It has, let's see, Nicaraguan and Peruvian fillers, but like I said, it's only the second time I've smoked it, and it looks strong. Look at the beautiful wrapper on it, and how oily and whatnot it is. That's not a hole. That's just a little blemish that I may have even caused at one point. But thing is that it's a perfect, beautiful wrapper. Just beautiful wrapper. And it's smoking absolutely gorgeous. I really thought, well, my first one was a fluke. Because the wrapper, it's dark leaves. But it's not one of those that the leaves tell a story. Obviously, this cigar is, I would say it's medium. It's not as light as a Connecticut, but it's certainly not peppery. That's something I really don't like myself, is a deep pepper in the throat. I don't mind a little bit, but the deep pepper doesn't work very well for me. And this cigar, I thought, this is going to be peppery, and I thought maybe the first one was a fluke because of that. I said, I'm going to try another one and see. It may be peppery, but no. This one is just as good as the other one. And again, it starts off with a heavy coffee type flavor, just like the other one. The other one finished up with a deeper chocolate flavor and a coffee undertone. I don't see much else, but it's very smooth, creamy tobacco between it. Very nice flavor. Very flavorful without the spice. Give it a try. Gurkha. And it's the Grand Age. The size I got is the Presidente. I believe it's 7.5 with 52 ring, I believe it is. But it's worth a try. Definitely worth a try. So one of the things I want to mention today is, by now, most of you know, that I was an assistant years ago to Ed and Lorraine Warren before starting my ministry and going off on my own. And a couple of the folks who really don't either believe in Ed and Lorraine or doesn't, for some reason, don't like Ed and Lorraine, wrote some things to me. I wrote back. I'm glad they at least wrote something down. And before I start, I'd like you to give me a thumbs up and a subscription, help me out so I could do some more of these. And like I say, I don't edit these. They're not edited. This is for real. It's my garage. You come, you listen. And I hope you enjoy some of the stories. The stories are true. I'll tell you if they're not. But they're absolutely true. Now, Ed and Lorraine Warren, let me talk. I don't like talking about other people, but Ed and Lorraine were really good friends of mine. And I was out there with Ed and Lorraine. I've seen what they went and what they used to do. And Lorraine used to also work with the police department. I was with her one time when we found an area where a girl was murdered, raped and murdered. Lorraine worked on some really, really tough cases. It wasn't all just the ghost hunting or the books you read, okay? So that's one thing. Secondary thing, is that Ed and Lorraine didn't charge for most of these things. They didn't charge for you to come to your house and set up all their equipment and to have people come there. They didn't charge for that. The only way they made an income was by writing books about their stories. Were they embellished? Not the ones I was on. Pretty well. They were written the way they happened. Very few of them that I was on anyway. I can only talk about those, but in the cases that 3 or 4 of the movies that are on there, it's pretty close. Okay, Hollywood may have done a few things. In fact, they changed the Annabelle doll from a Raggedy Ann doll to the doll they had in the movie. That they did. But the story's basically true. It's the same. It happened. These things happened. That doll was unbelievable. Almost choked the guy to death. Was moving around the house. In fact, one time Lorraine was in her office and she screamed. She turned around. She seen the thing go across her doorway. She came out and was on the other, sitting in a couch on the other side of the living room. They had to finally lock it up and pray over that case. That case was built for Annabelle. So these things are real, whether you like it or not. And a lot of you judge Ed and Lorraine on the stories you hear about Amityville. Well, let me tell you something about Amityville. Amityville was real. I don't care what they say. I know it was real. I've even heard the tapes from Amityville and saw the pictures they took. There's no way that they were doctored back then. And I'll tell you right now that one of the things the Lutzes did was they made money after that on it. And they also, when they had marital problems or whatever it was, I don't know what their problem was. I'm not saying I know. I'm not knowing. But they also wrote the book when he reneged and said, oh, it wasn't all true. That's because he was told that, the other book sold, this would sell just as much. And they went off and they sold the book. I disagree totally with doing something like that. But as far as I'm concerned, the Amityville haunting was real. And I saw evidence proving to me that it was real. So you could believe in Ed and Lorraine or not if you want, but they did a lot like any college professor. If you believe in your college professors, you might as well believe in Ed and Lorraine because they write books and they go to college campuses and show proof, and that's what Ed and Lorraine used to do from college to college to college. That was another way they made some money. But that's how they made their living. It's either don't help the people or not be able to get there when you need to get there because you're working another job. There's reasons people do these things. It's just like there's reasons why the Lutz wrote were part of the books that they wrote. And when they called for help, they were in need. They called for help. A family was murdered in the middle of the night in that house. There's no doubt about it. The devil in Connecticut, the Arnie Johnson case was real. These things happen. And I was there. I saw the evidence. Not at the house. I saw pictures, tapes, enough evidence. In fact, we brought some evidence in one of our cases, the Maurice case, to a court of law in Connecticut. Purposely, Ed, Lorraine, and I drove up there, all the way up there, and we said, we showed it to judges and lawyers and said, what do you think about this as evidence? And every one of them said, absolute evidence. Possession exists. These things are real. And that was at the courthouse, the state courthouse in Connecticut. So I'm telling you, believe in it. If you don't want to believe in it, don't. Just don't make the mistake of playing with a Ouija board while being a disbeliever. That's all I have to say about that. Ed and Lorraine were on the up and up. What the Lutzes did, that was their business. I heard a lot of different reasons why they wrote the book, or he wrote the book that they did. But I know when they called for help, they wanted help. It was real. So that I know. There's been so many movies about Amityville that are fake. Absolutely. But the stuff that Ed and Lorraine wrote about, that's real. That happened. I saw photographs of the walls. I saw photographs of ghosts. I heard tapes of the EVPs that they caught there. Pretty incredible. But no wonder with the murders that took place in that house. So anyway, this is Doc, and I'm glad that you wrote. If you're out there and you hear this, and you're one of the people who disagreed or don't like Ed and Lorraine, that's okay. You definitely can have your opinion, and I'm very happy that you wrote something down. I hope that we can talk again. Stay in touch because some of the stories are not all about that. A lot of different things. I got a lot of different things to share with you. So come on back. You're always welcome in my garage. This is Doc. See you again. Take care.